Discord now. Let's see. Wonder if Boy is going to be late again. I'll bet $5 Boy's going to be late.
Well, I think you don't have the banker. Because everyone is betting he was sure. I think he was late again.
Frankly, I don't even know if he's coming, but that's that. So yeah, Gerald is coming for sure. Vincent, I'm not sure. Wow, why is the coffee so bitter? I want to sleep, so I drink coffee. Okay, I'll just keep everything open. Okay, just now I saw a nice sales video. It's more for B2B, discovery call, but I think we can still take elements of it. I'll just remind me to send it if I haven't sent it. I think I sent to Max already. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
How are you, Anastasia and Max?
I'm doing great. Very, very good.
Good.
Very well. How are you, Gerald?
Good. All good.
Changing your background.
This is my natural background. This is no filter.
All
Yeah.
right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oops. Oops. Oh, I think he pull the webcam camera or something. Actually, I also have a real background in the other room. I'm trying to change the angle because I don't like the angle so much.
Why not?
Gerald, I think you pull a plug or something. Okay. It's just him, right? I mean, everybody is still here, correct?
Yeah, that's still it.
Okay, so I also have a real background. It's just my camera is using wide angle lens, so I don't know how to make all the books look so big. Or maybe my books are small, his books are big. That's why his books look quite nice on a camera.
Good. Let's get moving.
Okay.
Who is ready? Yeah.
Yes, I'm ready.
So let's hear some questions. What obstacles you guys face so far?
Dee, you want to go first?
Always me. No, I'm just concerned. I asked Jay last time, right, about how to make a price. Like how to discuss a price with the client.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you can give us the whole context. It's actually the same answer. Whatever people ask for, I don't care what they ask for, frankly. They ask for, it can be they want to buy some emails, it can be they want to buy some Google ads, it can be they want to buy a website, it can be they want to buy a computer. Get on Zoom, ask some questions, do a discovery call, the video which I'll be sending you guys. Have a conversation. Sometimes you realize, not sometimes, most of the time, when people say they want to buy something, it's usually not what they need. If they want to buy email, it might not be email. It might be they need some other services, but they don't know how to ask the right question. Most people don't know how to ask the right question. It's actually a very important skill. I think every freelancer should learn this, how to ask the good question. Then you can charge for consultation. Consultation is nothing more than just asking right questions the right way. So get them on Zoom, whatever it is, get them on Zoom. So for you to be comfortable asking people to get on Zoom, you need to be comfortable getting on Zoom when people want to buy something from you. Or let's say you want to buy something, make it a habit to get on Zoom with somebody else. Like personally, when I buy on Fiverr, I do it three ways. One is I exactly know I want a banner, 250 times 250 the dimension. Okay, that in that case and only in that case, no need video, no need loom. Sorry, no need any zoom, no need any loom. If I'm not very sure, usually I'll approach the person doing the work and I'll ask question like, hey, no, I'm interested in getting this, but I'm not sure. if that's the actual thing I need, maybe we can have a discussion. From here, actually, I filter a lot of people who are just there to take orders. I know those are not the best people. Okay, then if I have some clarity, I'm not 100% sure, then I'll record a Loom video so I can send it to a few freelancers and see how they respond. So be comfortable getting on Zoom or shooting a Loom video yourself. Then you'll be comfortable to ask other people to get on Zoom to have a discussion because you know for a fact that these discussions is going to bring value. Hello, Vincent. Oops.
Oh,
Hello, Vincent.
yep.
Okay. We're in the middle of Anastasia's question, so we will come back to you.
Okay.
Yep. So I finished the part. Try to get on Zoom. Doesn't matter what they ask. Try to get on Zoom, and for you to be able to confidently ask people to get on Zoom, you need to be able to get on Zoom. I feel comfortable doing that yourself when you're buying things.
Maybe I would like to jump in there really quick. And I said that normally when you want to have deals with people, how do you do it? How do you negotiate with them? But that's a skill you also need to develop.
Nothing actually. Just like every time we are already in Zoom, so it's still the price thing coming up because I don't know even the price, the good one is which ones.
Okay, no problem. I'll send you the video. Watch it twice, then take some notes, then send me the notes. I'll see what are your takeaways. Then maybe you give me a better insight on how I can help you. Yeah. Because now Max, it's a bit doing discovery, and I think he knows the closing part. The discovery part, I don't know because I don't think I really mentioned much with him. But one trick Max used was not trick actually. It's a good practice. He delayed the sale. He don't want the sale, then people want to buy more.
And now, just building on that, it's actually it's a technique. It's a sales technique. Generally, if you delay the sales, it gives the other person the opportunity to explain themselves more. That helps you to understand the scope of the work. So if you understand the scope of the work, then naturally you'll be able to ask more questions, right? So then you look smarter and you actually become smarter. So that's that's one of the good consequences of delaying the sale. So again, that makes you look very credible. You look like you know what you're supposed to do, and you clarify any doubts. So
Yeah, actually,
that's good.
I'll just build on
Yeah.
that. Most freelancers are too eager for work, especially when
Yeah.
they don't have a lot of high-paying clients. So when we are in that situation, we are very afraid to delay the sale. We want to rush as fast as possible. Oh, buy from me as soon as possible. I can do it in 3 days. I can do it in 3 hours. I used to operate that way. Seriously, I used to operate that way, so I understand why you're doing it. It's coming from lower self. It's coming from a lot of fear. It's coming from having a lot of scarcity. Now I don't even want to sell if I didn't meet the person 3 times. I want to really know what they want. I want to know that, hey, you can't just buy from me. You have to wait. And it's real. Like my calendar is very packed. Now I'm thinking of who to fire, not who to take on as client. It's just Gerald don't want to say no to some people. I want to fire some clients. Okay, so the different conversation. So always have the mindset you want to delay. Now, initially you're not going to delay them for 3 months. Maybe you can delay them for maybe 3 days, or at least don't have the mind. I need to get them to say yes immediately. That's very counterproductive for you. It does more harm to you. Okay, so be comfortable delaying.
Yeah, just use the 72-hour rule. because the 72-hour rule of delay gives you 3 days, it gives them the impression that this guy is busy, this lady is busy enough, and if they're busy, the quality of work they have is good. So when you talk about negotiating the price and all the terms, it gives you a good leverage, right? But if you're there just ready, okay, how many pages, whatever it is, you look desperate, and desperate people are not perceived to be good.
I'll just add a bit because I understand most freelancers when they start, they get their prospecting from Fiverr and Upwork, and there is last time I don't understand why people say this. Now I can understand. When your only source of prospect is from Fiverr and Upwork, it's very hard for you to practice what we mentioned, because on that type of platform there is more freelancers. You're competing with a lot of freelancers. There's one business owner. Everybody is fighting for their business. So it almost don't allow you to practice what we do. Okay, so for what we do to be more effective, you need to know how to adjust it to the platform. I'll give an example. On Fiverr, if somebody wants to buy my Google Ads service, I'll tell them I'm busy straight away, but you can send me the work. You can send me your website. We jump on a Zoom call. I'll do a review for you. I'll tell you what you're doing right, what you're not doing right. And they will ask me, can I help them? I'll say, no, I'm busy. Talk next month, next talk 3 months later. That's my way. Okay, you can see how you want to adapt this. If you're doing prospecting like cold email, or you're doing networking events, or it's from a referral, then it's a bit different. You have to change it according to the platform. Okay, so it's harder on Fiverr, it's harder on Upwork, but still can be done. Just you need to know how to make some adaptations.
Right. Yeah, Bob has a question there. Jay, you can take it first.
Yeah, Paul says it's hard to see myself delaying sales when I have 0 sales back then. This is the chicken and egg thing. So when you have 0, you're not comfortable delaying. But to really charge high and get good clients, you need to delay. So I don't know, like frankly, I don't know how I started to make the switch. I just did the switch. But if you are currently 0, then you might want to use the agency method, where you join an agency, then they do the closing for you, you just do the work. Okay, so this delaying the sale is very good once you'll be able to do this very well once you have your first deal, once you have your first client, and you are in a position where you don't need to take on work. Then you can do this very well. Okay, so if you're not in a position to do that, then just maybe find an agency as a stopgap measure for 1-2 months, maybe 3 months. Once you're in an agency, also provided it's the right agency, like 7plus is the right agency. The people there are almost everybody is nice. Then they can teach you stuff. You can learn a lot of stuff from them. Yeah.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the previous sessions, as a new freelancer, it's always good to start with a team, because why agency provides you that home environment? Because we all started from somewhere, and somebody taught us something, right?
Yep.
So starting on your own completely alone is kind of risky, because then you really don't know what is good to do. So the best thing to do is find a home in form of an agency and contribute one item. And as we mentioned, the best thing is, if you come from email side, just focus on email marketing, improve that skill until it gets pretty good. Then you can go to another, then you can go to another. So kind of try to specialize, so you hone your skills as well. And then you just keep adding on skills, right? So that, because if you're not in agency mode, you would have to do different things.
You have to do
and
everything.
your income won't be good. Yeah, and it's very risky. You won't learn much.
Yeah, like maybe Max can share a bit experience of joining an agency where everybody is
Yeah.
good except one person.
Okay, so I'm thinking, because joining the agency is not, it's not very it's nothing to share, because I feel like my first client that I work alone, is much more interesting, and maybe I can share something from
Oh,
there.
okay,
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah, so my first client is a doctor, and he has a marketing team. So at the time when I close the sales, like I'm helping them to do 2 months of funnel management. Helping them to create the copy and the email. That's it. That's two very simple funnel. And then we agree upon like 1 month is about 2K ringgit, is about 500 per month. 500 per month. And then I don't, because people just give me the project and I don't take 100% upfront. So I say, can I just take 50%? It's 250. They say yes, okay. So after I done all the things and the funnel is actually launched, so they pay me the 50%, and then I ask for another 50%, the remaining, but they don't pay me. They don't pay me. Yeah, because I'm not here to offense the Chinese here, because we know the Chinese culture, the Chinaman business. They want to pay what they see. They want to pay what they see, what they get.
The problem is a lot of
So
them are lying.
yeah, that's right. So because that time is my first client, I'm so eager, I'm so desperate.
Yeah.
I need to do something, and end up I need to pay the software myself. Like ClickFunnels, I need to pay, subscribe the ClickFunnels first. And then this sales call, this project, I close negative $50. I need to I need to pay upon myself first. And then I just feel demotivated. No one's talking to me. I request the resources. I just walk alone. And I don't have the resources to hire another people to do the things I don't know. So I'm thinking, yeah, just now Jay and Joel talk about the delay sales. And I learned something is like, if you're too desperate and eager, client definitely will know.
Yes.
They will know.
Yeah. So, what Max shared here now, knowing what you know now today, if that you can turn back time, will you go for an agency first before you go to straight to the client?
Oh, I think I will go for the agency first, because at the time I have a wrong mindset, because I hate agency. I hate agency. So that's the wrong thing, because I recognize my ego, my pride. I don't want to work with other people's, like I'm very against like working with other freelancer, because I feel like they will take me granted, maybe. So I not really like, but this is a wrong mindset and a wrong concept. You need to work with someone is very experienced. Start with an agency.
Actually,
I think
I
that's
also
excellent. Yeah.
very nice sharing. Frankly, I agree with everything here, and it's weird for me to say this because actually I don't have any agency experience until very recently. So, but that being said, knowing what I know today, if you go from an agency, you, as a new freelancer, if you go for an agency, you are reducing your suffering time to a minimum. Because initially you don't know a lot of things. You don't know how to close, you don't know how to prospect, you don't know how to do the work. And do the work here, you don't know what is your work, you don't know what isn't your work. If you don't have experience, you end up doing things you're not so actually none of your business is not your job, but you go and do it.
Yeah.
Even worse for pearls. You'll probably do, they ask you to sweep the floor, you go and sweep the floor. They ask you to wash their car, they go and wash their car, and a lot of nonsense. I'm exaggerating to make a point. Okay. So best is just tag along with an agency. So the way me and Jared operate right now is almost like an agency model, but it's more like project based. Then most of the time we coach, we give feedback. This is what I think a lot of agencies don't do. They just expect you to do the work. Most agency owners don't know how to give direction. They don't know how to coach you to level up your skill. They don't know how to teach you how to communicate with other freelancers or other clients. Most of them don't. A few, yes. Okay, a few, yes. And yeah, so this is for agency, but if you're new, highly recommended. Am I asking you to stay there forever? No.
No, definitely no. So 6 months 3 to 6 months would be good, and then you would be strong enough to start, because if you started like with email marketing, you'd have grown enough to close a client to do email marketing for them. If it is digital marketing, a component, maybe Facebook, maybe something, Insta, whatever, you can then, alongside working with this agency, you can then get another opportunity. So as you grow, as you get more experience, then you can eventually concentrate on another client. So it should be transitional. Otherwise, you go from frying pan to fire, right? So that could be a situation.
And very important for agency is you don't need to always be in survival hunt or staff mode, because agency, they're not going to pay you a lot, they're going to pay you something, so you don't, at least you don't need to worry about your living expenses or your bills.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not gonna, it's, joining an agency is not supposed to make you rich. Okay, if you happen to join an agency, they make you rich, you're lucky, but that's not how it's supposed to be. You go there to build your network, to get your experience, to know actually how things are supposed to be done. Then maybe after 3 to 6, okay, if you want to be like more of a lifestyle writer, you can maybe, I mean, it depends on your arrangement, but generally agency, you're paid a bit less because the agency will, let's say you're going to charge 1K, let's say the agency is charging the client 1K, you're not going to get 1K, probably you'll get 300, maybe 500. Okay, so that's, I think that's a good question to bring up, and actually we sidetrack a little from that. Okay,
But it was a good one, Anastasia. So who has the next question?
But I have a question to Max. So what happens when you're not paid? You just let go of the customers, you know, it's fine for you not to get paid? Or how does it work?
Well, because that time, the direction is completely wrong. Even I take the project, I want to arrange a branding calling with their team, marketing team. They have no idea what is sales page and email marketing. They have zero knowledge. And then I'm so sad because I do something wrong, because I have a little information. I don't know the brand, I don't know their brand. So my copy is misleading. It's misleading. My copywriting, all the work is like leading the people to the wrong direction and just try to scam people. I can say that my copy is very sad. I feel very ashamed to show to you guys. And that time my client is a aesthetic doctor. He is a plastic surgeon to help people to do the things, do the face thing and thing. And there's a compliance law in Malaysia. That's the I think it's medical law. And then I break too many inside the copy, and then they are very pissed off. And then
okay, then understandable why they didn't pay. Now, actually, if we look at everything Max described, it's not the problem. It's a symptom of the problem. Now, anyone can give some tips, some guess. Anyone can guess what is the root cause of all of the problem that he described. Getting the wrong client didn't pay him second time, didn't have the opportunity to work well. Why is all of this happening?
and
To me, I would say diagnosing the wrong problem at the first place is the root cause.
Okay, that's one. That is still a symptom.
Yeah. Yeah.
But good try.
To actually answer Vincent's question that he asked about, is like I just letting them go.
Oh.
I keep myself like ghosted, and then I just run away. I have no choice to do anything.
What I'm thinking is, because this is one of the things as a freelancer that we will face. So it is not nice if we have agreed at certain amount and we have arranged the payments arrangement like 50% in the beginning, 50% once the book is finished, and the customer ghosted at the end of the day and we let go. I think this is a problem that we got to solve.
Okay. The root cause of all of this is the closing was not done well. The closing part was not done well. Okay. If we can close.
And
Yeah, please.
mhm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so two things: the discovery plus the closing. Because you remember at the beginning of the session, Jay says he's going to share a video. There's a very nice video that I would like you guys to watch. It kind of tells you about how to discover, how to really go deep. And because as freelancers, if you don't understand the needs of your client very well, you can go in the wrong direction. In this case, Max has given us, he went kind of the wrong direction. That's why he produced work for which the doctor was so angry and they didn't pay him. So if he had done a better discovery, closed the deal very well, which would include terms of payment and all those kind of things, then this would not have come, right? So the homework wasn't done. He just proceeded to do the work when he didn't clean up the whole process, right? And this is very important. So you remember, as freelancers, we are our banks, right? So we have to clean everything. We have to secure ourselves. Otherwise, we are very, very exposed. So,
And something about closing. Now, I haven't heard anyone say it this way. Okay, but just feel free to correct me. Good closing doesn't mean you close people who want to buy. Good closing, okay, part of good closing is saying no to those who are not a good fit to you. That's good closing. Good closing
yeah.
is not letting as many in as possible. No, 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 no. Those who are not a good fit.
Actually, yeah. Okay, so just to paraphrase that, a good close is good disqualification. A good closer does a lot of disqualification, which means when you're talking to the client, you need to say, this client is not good for me, except let the client prove to you why they would be a good cause to work with, right? That is the meaning of what Jay has mentioned. So the few actually, which means is there are going to be more times when you say no than you have to say yes. Because if you say yes more and no fewer, you are in trouble. Because it means you are not filtering enough. And issues like this, Max has mentioned, and Vincent, you've mentioned, would come to play.
Because most of the time we'll be specializing in a few things. So today, if you ask me, I want to run ads for e-commerce, I'll probably say no, because it's not something that I spend a lot of time with. It's not something I want to spend time learning. There are other people who already have the experience. So I'm supposed to turn these people down. If I didn't turn them down, I say yes. I fail at closing. Okay, you're supposed to just say yes to a very specific amount of people. So part of your job in marketing, in branding yourself, is to let people know, hey, this is the area I specialize in. Okay, and if you take on people you're not supposed to take on, you are sabotaging yourself. You're setting your future self up for failure. If you're lucky, then the whole thing blow up in 1 or 2 months. If you're unlucky, it will drag on for a long time. So actually, Max, congratulations, it's not a long time. It's maybe a few months.
Yeah. So why did Jay say this is taking on wrong clients is self-sabotage? Who can guess?
Because it comes back to bite you when you cannot deliver what you promise to deliver, knowing that you don't know that anything on that particular things and you just take it on.
So how do you know when you actually accepted a deal that you're not supposed to accept? Sometimes, not always. Sometimes is you feel you want to go and do the work, also you're afraid to turn on your computer. Then you might, or maybe, because in the past I say yes to everybody. So sometimes I say yes already. They're like, I'm so afraid. Actually, I'm not sure if I can do this. Now sometimes it's your lower self sabotaging, but sometimes you actually took on the wrong person. Okay, so how to know the difference in personal coaching?
Yes, and so this is an important point. So this is why the advantage of really taking time, delaying the sale as much as possible, at least 72 hours, it really gives you time. So what you need to do, at least what I prefer is, okay, say, I need to know more. What would you like? So ask good questions, right? So the essence is to understand what the client needs. As the client is giving you information, in your mind, you're ticking off boxes, right? Boxes and check marks and all that. So you know, okay, I can do this. I may not know anesthesia, I can do this, Bo can do this. Okay, I will do this. So, and this is why we will need you to be able to network. So there's some things you will do, some things you will not know how to do, but you know people who know how to do. Now that's different, right? This is why if you speak well to the client, you know the scope of the job very well. It helps you to understand what with your current skill you can manage, what you cannot manage, and who are the resources who can substitute for your lack of knowledge, so that you can within 24, 72 hours say yes to the client after making some calls to a few of your colleagues. So that way you don't look funny before your client, and then you don't also let down your colleagues by taking on assignment that you cannot deliver, right? So that's why it's very, very important to do the discovery call well and close very well.
So at a beginner level, you close for what you can do.
Yeah.
A bit better than that is you close for what your team can do, your circle can do.
Yes.
A higher level is you close for things that your team don't know how to do. Okay, we're not asking you to
But
get there, but that's
yes,
very nice.
yes. Yes, and that's some of the things we are doing right now, right?
Yeah.
So because we have a broad network where we can fish for that kind of knowledge, right? Now that is like level 3, but level 1, let's be careful. Number 1, do what, if your training is email marketing, please stick to email marketing. Deliver that. Let your name be known for email marketing. Once you're comfortable, at least 90 days to 120 days, focus on that. When you do it so well and you can write email in your sleep, then move to the next skill. Get well into that skill. So once you get well, then you go. So basically, one of the things, and we haven't spoken about this, as we go forward, we'd like you guys to have a skill target, right? Every year, you need to add one more skill. Okay? Max, if your email, the next year should be something. Then the other year should be something. Vincent, if you're like a maybe funnel is really what you're good, then you can go to something else.
Just
You
make
just
sure
build a related.
make sure the skill you're adding is a high income skill. Don't go and learn how to build
Yes.
website, please.
Exactly. Maybe let's talk about high income skill. Maybe this is a good segue.
Yep.
What's a high income skill, Jay?
Something that you can make 10K with just with your skill. Just with that skill, 10K US dollar.
Yes.
Okay. It can be one
So,
client, it can be 2,
mhm.
but probably not more than 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 3 clients. With 3 clients, you should be able to make 10K. That's a high income skill. So assuming you have 2, and from each skill you get paid 3K, right? So 3K times 4, that's 12K. So you have 4 clients, you're doing 4 sets of jobs, and you're making more than 10K max, right? So that is, and we wouldn't like you to have more than 5 clients. You go crazy. 5 is really, really, if you have one good client, that's good, but no more than 5. 5, you can't. Wow.
Actually, it's a symptom. There was a time where I have 7 or 8 clients. So when you have that, it's a symptom of you don't have good clients. Because if you have good clients, you don't need so many. Okay, so the goal is not to have many clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
So high
It's
income skill.
interesting. Less is more, right?
Yeah,
Less is more.
So the high
Yeah.
income skill we recommend is copywriting. That's number one. If you can add consultation, it works very well. But before you can add consultation, you need to be able to close. Okay, so copywriting, closing. These two, all the training you can buy from Denlock Shop. Just go and buy. Mindset, closing. Mindset will actually help your copywriting and your closing. Mindset, copywriting, closing, these three. Once you have all of this, you can add consultation. Why consultation? Because consultation, your hourly rate will increase a lot. You're spending 1 hour, but 1 hour instead of being paid 100, 200, $500, now you're being 1 hour, you can charge 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Yeah, but you need to have some basis before you have before you start to charge for consultation. What Coach Gerald model is, his coaching is his high income skill. So his is a bit different. So he can do coaching, then from there he do consultation. But for you guys, what I'll recommend is get good with marketing, have the broad understanding of marketing, be able to do one of a few deliverables. Deliverables means either landing page, either it's email, either it's the funnel, either it's a webinar, either it's a video sales letter. One of these, you don't need to do all of it. Focus on the deliverable. Once you're good enough, then you can transition to consultation. And consultation is where the fun begins. You start to make a lot of money when you are an okay consultant.
And we talked about closing, right? How many of you guys are good with closing? At least you understand the fundamentals of closing. You're all good with closing?
Really, I don't think so. Even though I have about 6 sales call before, but I don't get any result. So as Denlock say, there's only 2 closer in the world. It's like amateur and the professional. The difference between is $1. You close or you don't close. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, I have been 6 sales call before and I didn't call anyone. I didn't close anyone. Yeah, except the first nightmare, the nightmare client.
Yeah, so that is one of the things, because Denlock says the fundamental skills, closing and copywriting and the digital marketing. Actually, if you put 3, you must do digital marketing and all those things inside, which Jay mentioned, copywriting and closing. Those are it's like the motherboard for a computer, right? You need to have those skills as a freelancer. So as you grow in your career, it's important to pick pieces of those. It may not be possible to learn all of it at once, but pick pieces of that and keep getting better and better and better. So that way you actually have a plethora. So imagine if you're earning 10K per month using each skill, you're doing 30K, right? It may not be now, but a couple of years from now, you'll be living
Actually,
in a good life.
it doesn't take very long, but it's not instant as well. So I'll say 3 years is a good time frame, 3 to 5 years. We're not talking about 30 years. Some people, they work 30 years, they can't even get 10K a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is relatively quick, but it's not like you buy this crypto the next day you make 10K. No, not that kind of stuff. Because you need to know skills take time to develop.
Yeah, but the future is very bright, especially you guys have got exposed to these ideas very, very rapid, like when you're relatively young, right? For instance, if I got exposed to this at your age, I would be very, very fast, much farther ahead, right? So you guys have this opportunity to make good figures. Yeah, so take it.
Actually, I'll just do a unpaid advertisement here. Let me just open Denlock Shop and see what I can be a free affiliate of. Okay, digital courses. Gerald, if there's one course that you can recommend to them. Oh, actually, I forgot to buy this.
I think I have that. Before you buy, let me check.
Okay. Now,
I
if you
think
ask me which should,
because the millionaire is good in the sense that it will open their mind.
yep,
Yeah.
I forgot which was it. It's not the live class. I think it's this. Let me just be very, very sure.
Yeah. Big,
I am
yes.
90% sure, but let me be 100% because I saved the video on my phone. When I drive in my car, actually I listen to this. So okay,
Yeah,
I'm
I think
100% sure.
Jay, yeah, you shared about it, I think 2 weeks ago about this.
Yeah. Anybody who don't have anything to learn now, this is the one thing you should buy and learn. Very worth the money, and it's not at an expensive cost. It's just $100.
Mm.
Yeah. You can't
Because
afford
why should you
HD.
think? Yeah.
Yeah, if you can't afford
Why
HD,
should you?
the one.
Okay. Why do you need to think like a millionaire? Because the concept of million takes you away from scarcity mindset. I think if I'm to say one thing, it's if you operate from scarcity mindset, you can't really be successful.
Now,
That's
why
number
why
one.
the first skill
Uh-huh.
we introduce is not asking you to learn how to close, it's not asking you how to write better copy, it's not asking you how to go and learn consultation. Why? Because I am now convinced if the mindset is not there, we can give you all the techniques. It will just all being filtered. You will not learn anything. We spend 3 months just to teach a simple concept to the client, but he don't have the mindset, can absorb. I'm
Yeah.
100% convinced on this.
Yeah, that's why those of you who are familiar with seafood, the first 2 weeks always goes in mindset. And actually, now that coaching clients, you actually need 1 month just to talk about mindset. This is because the way our mind functions is actually the hardest prison from which we escape. And everything we manifest, the poverty, the hardship we manifest, it's all because of the thought process. And that's why if you think like a millionaire, act like a millionaire, you will become one.
And it's very funny
Because that
because
is
there
very
are
interesting. Yeah.
there are specific things we ask the client to do, but he said it doesn't make sense to me, or he say he don't understand that. So we can tell you all the how to do, but if your mindset, if okay, how a mindset is another word for filter, how you see the world, how you think. Um, there's a very big difference between a person who sees abundance and sees scarcity. Because we can give you the same opportunity, we can give you the same training, we can give you the same clients, we can give you the same projects, but if you come from scarcity, you'll find a way to fuck it up in ways that I can't imagine. Like we can even give you a list like please don't do this, you will still find a way to add to this list. So very inventive ways. So this is why last, and this is coming from somebody who spent I think 25,000 on how to do this, how to do that, how to do this, how to do that. I didn't spend anything before on mindset. Okay, so this is not coming from somebody who buy a lot of attraction, this and that, the secret, all of this. I'm not the person who spend the money buying the type of courses. I'm a person who spend my money on learning how to digital marketing, how to do Facebook ads, how to run Google ads, how to build a website, how to build a sales funnel, how to write a webinar. Anything you mentioned about digital marketing in the past 5 years, I probably bought something. How to do SEO, how to do video, how to do video editing, which is why actually I know a lot of this. Okay, but I can tell you, don't make the same mistake. We tell you the shortcut. Buy the mindset first. Everything else will fall in place.
Yeah. So the mindset is your window to the world. And you can only hear from how wide your plate is. If your plate is so narrow, you know so little and you think you know a lot. You know, that's why people who are actually quite ignorant are very arrogant. Now, as you begin to know more, you begin to know that you actually know so little. I can tell you right now, I know that I know so little.
Yeah.
And yet, in some perspective, you could think I know a lot, right? So when your awareness begins to grow, this is when you begin to empty your cup. And one of the things we'd like you to do every now and then is empty your cup. Just empty your cup. Because if you think you know, then you have a problem.
So
You really
what
have a big problem.
mindset is basically, now how good your mindset is, the best representation, physical representation, is how big the cup is. So if the mindset is wrong, the cup is so small. Anything you go and learn, you cannot enter. This is why mindset is the first thing. Okay, well, I know who's the one of the best person to teach mindset is that like really cost effective. Of
Yeah.
course, you can go and learn from Tony Robbins. You can spend 10K, but you know, I won't ask you to do that now. I'll ask you to just go and buy a $100 course. Watch it 3 times at least. I think there's about 8 or 12 hours. The whole course is 8 or 12 hours, something like that.
All right.
Yep.
Good. Maybe we
Max-
take our
Max
last
say-
question.
Max say that's me last year. Okay.
Yeah. Let's take the last question or the last comment
Yep.
because we are running. Yeah.
Okay, going once, going twice. Okay, then thanks for
Okay,
coming
good.
this week. We'll see you guys next week. Okay. For those who actually bought the program, just drop me a message. Would like to know. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure. Are you seriously to close right now?
Yeah. Why not?
Oh, okay. So
You can ask a quick question. We still have 10 minutes.
yeah, because I'm thinking I have a question, but I don't know how to make it a smart question. Because right now I didn't process in my mind. I just asked, and this question sounds very stupid. And now
There's no stupid
I
question.
have
There's
a
only stupid people. Ask.
yeah. Now I have a good question. It's like how to ask good question.
Oh, this question is so good. I don't know how to
Mm.
answer.
That's nice.
Yeah, because for my experience, like every time I jump on the sales call, and I pretend myself is like very professional, even though on Upwork client or other interviews, I just like very smart. I take out my pen and then I write a lot of things. I ask a question, but end up after after the Zoom meeting is over, is end, and then I look back at my note. I don't think I asked a very good question because the question is very simple.
Now, without looking at your call, it's very hard for us to say what is the question good or not. That being said, I've asked some stupid question before, and the stupid question actually give a lot of value. Because upon reflection, that was a good question to ask. And sometimes you ask a question that is very obvious, but the client who listen like actually, why didn't we ask this basic question? Because they're trying to do the work, it's like such a big circle, but they can actually just shortcut. Then you ask a question, why didn't you guys just do the shortcut? It's a stupid question, but actually they're like, yeah, actually, why didn't we just do that? So I'm quite convinced there's no stupid question. Uh, it's just sometimes the person, they don't get it, so they think you're asking a stupid question. But if you want to ask question, ask some discovery question like, what have you tried before that didn't work? How is this time different? These tend to be a bit better type of question. Jerry, do you have some
Yeah.
questions?
It's a very wide question. It could be answered from different perspectives, but again, I always tell my students there's no stupid question because a question means the brain is trying to leverage to understand, right? And no brain is really wrong because the context is very important. So the only, as a freelancer, as a person, the key thing is always seek to understand. Seek to understand. So if something is not clear for you, you have to ask. And preferably, the question should be open-ended so that it allows the other person to explain more. And then the only other thing I tell my clients is that we should listen, because most of us actually don't listen.
Yeah.
So we ask the client, and then we are ready to ask the next question, and then the next question. We don't listen.
We just heard this disaster yesterday. The client that we are coaching, he's asking questions because we asked him to ask questions, so he asked questions. And this is the thing, if you don't do this, I think you're doing well. He asked questions, but he already have the answer. Then he go and ask the question. Okay, for example, I know that I want to sell this gun. So no matter what's your answer, I'm going to persuade you to buy this gun. Then from that mindset, he come and ask the question. That's not really asking a question. You're just trying to twist people into buying what you're selling. So that's not the mindset you want to have, the frame you want to have is I genuinely want to know how I can help you. I genuinely want to understand your problem, and I can give you some clarity, some direction. Now, I might not be able to solve your problem, which is okay. But most, if not everybody who jump on a discovery call with me, they always tell me, oh, actually, I didn't know it can be solved this way. Or I didn't know actually this was the problem. Or I didn't know actually I don't need to do this. So these are very, very common for me. Now, when you hear this, you know you do a good job.
Yeah, so the summary of questions really is, again, let me repeat, you want to understand your client, because a good service provider works on the needs of the client, because you are not your customer, right? So the kind of questions, so when you have the right frame, actually you don't struggle to ask questions, because depending on how the client presents themselves and your agenda is to understand their concerns, their weaknesses, whatever they're struggling with, the words will come,
Okay.
right? But if you're in your mind, okay, go ahead.
I'll give an example that you use this mindset, you can ask very good question. Your role is a doctor. The prospect or the patient come and tell you, hey doctor, I feel here, there's some pain. So what should the doctor do? Ask questions. So usually what our questions the doctor ask? He will ask, when did it started? What have you tried? Okay, what have you can you describe the pain in more detail with me? Because the doctor know here if the pain is here, there are so many possibilities. Maybe it's the leg. Might not be the head, it might be the leg, maybe it's the liver, maybe it's the eye, maybe it's the hair, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But there's so many different possibilities. So if today you go and see a doctor, you say here there's a pain, the doctor just give you the something to rub on your head. Maybe it's not a very good doctor. A very good doctor will be like, okay, they'll ask you some questions, then they will have in mind, is it the liver problem? Is it the kidney problem? Is it the skin problem? Because there are many different possibilities. So a doctor should come from, we should come from that kind of point of view. There are so many possibilities. It's not like I'm a doctor who only have this special head cream. So I just ask, oh, you told me here your head pain. Then I just ask you some questions to lead you to go and buy my cream. Some people actually operate that way and they think it's correct, which really makes me like, oh my god.
Okay, so in summary, we should adopt the doctor's
Snake oil, yeah, correct.
We should adopt the doctor's framework, and that's something Denlock mentions a lot, because the aim is to understand. So seek first to understand rather than to be understood, right? Because you are going out to the client, you're offering service. So do everything to understand the client and then prescribe the solution from your perspective. Solutions you can do, solutions you can't do. and the implications of every solution.
Actually, to build on that, it's also very similar to the example we gave earlier. If you are a
Yeah.
doctor, a normal doctor, but you know this problem is not something you can solve. Maybe it needs an eye specialist. So what
Yeah.
will you do? You'll write a referral letter, ask this patient to go visit that eye specialist.
Exactly.
So when you do that, do you gain more respect from the patient? Yeah. So we should not
Yeah.
be afraid to pass them to other places. It's like, I know, thanks for coming to see me, but I know I'm not the person to solve this problem for you. Because after asking this, sometimes we got to redirect prospects to the outcome we want. I I don't fully agree on that, especially when you don't need the money. You don't. It's not what the outcome we want. It's what the outcome that is best for the patient or the prospect.
Yeah, it's the prospect's outcome, because it's not you. You remember, you are helping. So for you to be successful, there's something we call in karma. For you to be successful, you have to make other people successful. So if you think about yourself only, you are going to actually unmake your success. So if you make your client successful, automatically nature is going to make you successful. And this is why, if you cannot do something, let's say they give Max to do a certain copy, but he's not comfortable, or his level of knowledge or expertise or time is not ready to help that client. It is okay for him to pass it to somebody. In this case, he's not selfish, holding the client to himself, because if he does that, he's going to deliberately delay the client and not help the client. And you see, how you do one thing is how you do another thing. So karmically, that is going to come back and bite you. So it's important not to focus on the client so that it's only me who can serve them. That is the scarcity mindset. The blue mindset, which is the vast abundance mindset, is where you should be able to comfortably pass off clients, because as you pass off, more will come to your side, right? So how can you receive more if your hand is full?
I can understand why people have this
Yes.
mindset is because, let's say, if we work for a company, then I know it is in your job description, no matter what, we have to sell our company's product. We can't sell competitors' product. We can't ask the customer to go visit the competitor, even though they have a better solution. But when you're doing freelancing, it is in your best interest to actually
Yeah.
put the customer's need above yours. Okay.
So Vincent, those
A
are
bit
some
of
of the
a
challenges of corporate. You see, because corporate it teaches you to be selfish, because you have to protect your turf. That's the weakness with the corporate. However, excuse me. However, in the freelance world, we support each other's back, because I have to look after Anastasia, right? I have to look after Bob, because tomorrow they will look after me, right? So that is this. So because the success has to all go around. Yeah. So that's a shift in the mentality of
okay.
freelance
Vincent,
versus corporate.
I know where you're going to spend your $100 now. The lock shop.
Yeah.
We don't earn
Please,
any
please
commission.
invest that 100, Vincent. That's important.
We don't earn any commission. Okay, guys, we'll see everybody next week. So long.